All right, let's jump right in. Everybody is talking about AI agents, and there's one question on everyone's mind. Are they here to replace all the software we use today? It's a huge question, and what we're going to do right now is unpack a really clear way to think about it. So let's get right to the punchline, the single most important idea. Agents aren't a replacement. They're a powerful new layer that gets built right on top of what we already have. Think of it this way, you're not tearing down a skyscraper to build a new one, you're adding a super intelligent penthouse on top. And trust me, that distinction changes everything.
Now, to really get why this whole layer concept is such a game changer, we kind of have to take a quick look back. I mean, how did we even get the tech stack that runs our entire world? It didn't just pop into existence overnight.
It all started with the absolute foundation, disk storage. Just raw bits and bytes, ones and zeros. Pretty limited on its own, right? But then we built the next layer, databases. And that was a revolution. All of a sudden, we could structure all that raw data, query it, make sense of it. A massive leap. And then we added the application layer, with all its business logic, its UIs, its APIs, which made all that data actually useful for solving real-world problems.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. When you look at this history, a very clear pattern starts to emerge. Each new layer didn't just add a new feature. No, it did something much more profound. It completely transformed the value of the layer right underneath it. Let's just look at that first step again. Disk storage by itself, it's just a bucket for bits. But the second you build a database layer on top of it, that same exact storage becomes exponentially more valuable. Now you can organize, search, and analyze everything in incredibly powerful ways. The database didn't replace the storage, it multiplied its value.
And what do you know? The pattern repeats itself perfectly. A database is amazing, but you kind of need to be a specialist to use it directly, right? So we built the application layer. And just like that, millions of people could suddenly access all that power through simple interfaces and workflows. Again, the apps didn't replace the databases. They unlocked their value for the rest of us.
So this is the key. We can call it the multiplier pattern. Each new layer in our tech stack doesn't just add its own value. It acts as a massive force multiplier for everything it's built on. It's like finding the key to a treasure chest that was sitting there locked the entire time. Which, of course, brings us right here to today. We're standing at the very beginning of the next great technological shift. You can see history repeating itself, and the next revolutionary layer is officially arriving. And here it is. The next layer being built directly on top of our applications is the agentic layer. Agents are simply the next logical step in this historical pattern of creating and multiplying value.
And we are not talking about a small, incremental improvement here. The scale of this multiplication is just massive. When you give software true agency, the ability to understand a goal, create a plan, and then execute that plan using our existing tools, you can solve problems on a whole other level. We're moving beyond just improving workflows, we're starting to automate entire outcomes.
And let's be crystal clear on this point. This new layer doesn't make the old ones obsolete. In fact, it's the exact opposite. It makes them more valuable than ever. Agents absolutely need the business logic and the data management from our applications. They need APIs to actually take action. And they'll need new standards, like the Model Context Protocol, to get the right information securely. The foundation is critical.
This quote just nails it perfectly. What's happening isn't simple addition, it's compounding. It's literally like compound interest for technology. Each new layer generates returns on all the value that's been built up beneath it. And that's how you get exponential growth.
So, what does this all mean? If this new agentic layer really is the next great multiplier, what kind of future are we looking at? This is where all the theory starts to turn into absolutely incredible real-world opportunity.
So it all comes down to one crucial takeaway. If you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this. Making software agentic is the next great multiplier. The biggest opportunity right now isn't necessarily in building something totally new from scratch, but in adding this powerful new layer of intelligence right on top of the amazing tools we already have. And that leaves us with one final thought. This isn't some prediction about the distant future. The multiplier is already here. This agentic layer is being built as we speak. So the real question for all of us is, what massive, world-changing opportunities are going to be unlocked first?